Okay, we're back. So the next videos will go quicker because we'll be a little more familiar with some of these tools. So next we're going to do alignment. And the alignment design principle says that things are lined up nice and neat so they look nice and neat and tidy and organized. So in order to do this, we're going to go over to our shapes again, and I'm going to right click on my shapes. There we go. Right click on my shapes, and I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. So with my rectangle tool, I'm going to draw a square and 4 rectangles for alignment. So I'm going to line things up nice and neatly. For the square, before I draw my square, I'm going to hold down the shift key on my keyboard and don't let go of it the whole time. So keep pushing on shift, and you're going to click and drag and see how it makes a perfect square. I can't make it wider or more narrow. It makes a perfect square. So I'm going to make a perfect square there. And I'm going to color this one orangish. And that's going to be my center of my design for alignment. And I'm going to line some rectangles up all over the square. So I'm going to go back over and I'm going to keep using my rectangle tool for this one. So this time I'm going to click and not hold the shift key. So I'm not holding the shift key, and I'm going to click and drag and draw a rectangle. And I'm going to use my selection arrow at the top, that left hand selection arrow, and make sure that it's lined up with the outside of the square. Perfect. So see how those are lined up neatly? I'm going to bring some rulers on just to show you with a guideline. If I put a guideline there, see how they're nice and lined up and nice and lined up. All right, so I've got them lined up. I'm going to keep going with that rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a rectangle that goes vertical. And I'm going to use my selection arrow to get that as nice and neat and tidy as I can so that it's the same size as the square there on the side. So now I've got another rectangle. All right, let's make the outside ones different colors just so they look different. If I used that orange, I'm going to use a bright orange here. Almost, let's see. Yeah, okay. We'll use that orange. Now I could draw 2 more rectangles. Okay, if I wanted, I could draw 2 more rectangles, but instead, since I know the rectangle on the top is going to be the same size on the bottom, and the rectangle on the right is going to be the same on the left, I'm just going to copy and paste. And here is a shortcut for copy and paste. If I click on this top arrow, rectangle, and I hold down my Option key on my keyboard, did you see how it changed just there to a double arrow? That means it's going to copy what you're doing. So I'm going to hold my Option key down. Don't let go of the Option key. And I'm going to click and drag a new one down, and I'll let go of my mouse. Then I'll let go of my Option key, and I've got a new shape. Okay, so again, I'm holding my Option key down. I'm going to click and drag. I'm holding the Command key, not the Option key, sorry. Option key down, and click and drag it straight across. And then let go of my mouse, and then let go of my keyboard. So let go of your mouse first, then your keyboard. And bam, we're done with alignment. Those are all lined up nice and neatly. If I bring a guideline down to show you, you can see that those 3 rectangles, I hope it's not perfect, but pretty darn close. Those rectangles are lined up, and the bottom rectangles are lined up, and the side rectangles are lined up. Whoops, let me grab a ruler. Are lined up nice and neatly. So everything is lined up. I'm going to get rid of these guides now. Don't know because they're locked. All right, so that's it for the repetition one. Now let's move on. Or no, what was that one? That one was alignment. Sorry, alignment. Let me unlock. View. My guides are locked, so I'm going to unlock them so that I can delete them and get them out of the way. All right, there we go. So now we're going to scoot over to the next artboard and we're going to do repetition. So we have contrast, pink, yellow, blue, oval, triangle, star, large, medium, small. We have alignment here, which has everything lined up with the square. Everything is lined up almost like it's in a grid. So a grid alignment there. Down at the bottom you have sliders, and on the side you have sliders. You can also use your mouse, but sometimes I use those to get to my artboards a little better. So let's go to the third artboard now, and we're going to do repetition. Repetition means that something is repeated over and over again. And for this one, we're just going to use our square or a rectangle tool, and we're just going to make it black and white. So remember the colors down here? You can see there are no colors selected right now. I'm going to choose black. So I have a black square and no outline because the bottom square has no color to it, so no outline. So black square. And I'm going to draw holding my shift key down. So I'm holding shift so I can get a perfect square. I'm going to draw a little square. Now this is the only square I'm going to draw. Then I'm going to get my arrow key. So my selection, it's called the selection tool, the arrow up at the top left. And I'm going to copy and paste. So I'm going to hold Option down. And as I hold Option, I'm going to click and drag and put it on the corner there. Then I'm going to let go of my mouse and then Option. Then I'm going to hold Option again, and I'm going to click and drag and put it up right here on the right hand side top. I'm going to let go of my mouse and let go of Option. Then I'm going to hold Option again, and I'm going to drag it down and let go. And then I'm going to go one more time, and you can see what I'm about to make. It's becoming a checkerboard. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black boxes. If I use my selection tool, which I have selected, and I click on my mouse and drag an invisible box around all 5 of those squares, it will select them all. So you can see they're all selected now. So I'm going to copy this whole darn thing, and I'm going to hold Option. See how that becomes a double arrow there on the screen? And I'm going to click and drag. And then I can use the arrows on my keyboard, or I can use my mouse to get them just perfectly lined up. So they're not quite perfectly lined up. So I'm going to draw a box around those 5, scoot it 1 to the right on my arrow keys on my keyboard. And now that's pretty darn good. Okay, so there, I've got a checkerboard. But I don't really have a checkerboard because I've got these funky lines, blank spaces at the top. So what I want to do with these blank spaces at the top is I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw one giant rectangle around the entire shape. And you can see since black was selected before, that is what it gave me, was a black rectangle with no outline. Well, shoot, now I can't see anything behind it. So instead, I'm going to have a black outline and no color. You see right here with the 2 squares, you've got the arrows going in both directions, and it says you can swap. So I'm going to swap. And when I click on that, I have swapped. And when I, see, I still have my tool selected. It wants to draw rectangles. When I grab my selection tool and click off of it, now I've got a nice outline because I made the box outline black over here. The box outline is black, and the inside is nothing, no fill at all, transparent. So now I've got a nice box around. And if I messed anything up, I can go and make that shape by using the arrows on my keyboard. I can scoot it up 1, and then it fits in the box perfectly. All right, so that's repetition. I'm going to draw an invisible box by clicking and dragging around this whole thing, and I'm going to shift it to the center. You want all of your graphics. See how all my graphics are sitting kind of in the center? So you want to try and do that with all of your graphics so that when we export them, when we get them out of here, they'll look nice and neat. So now we have contrast, different color, size, and shape. Alignment, things are lined up nice and neat and tidy like a grid. And here we have repetition, where we've repeated all of the black squares, and we also managed to create a whole bunch of white square spaces. So we've got white square spaces as well. So we repeated a pattern and it became a checkerboard pattern. All right, take a hot break, stand up, walk around for just a second, and then come back for the next one.